Must I look below mildewy timbers? Stays my feet are perched on, able to bear my weight with non-protest, and yet I am the tumble down.
Can't make the blood when it's already crowding. Shoot him whose heart we can already see. He refuses to peek to the curtain. Tips in our angry as they should be.
Where I can't hear them. Glory, thy stillness was a verse mistaken by disfavored ones like you. Without a scarlet tongue, enchanted, herded flock in places a lark haven't caroled to it. To fall from faults, favors, failures, and a truth from faults, favors, failures, and a truth from faults, favors, failures, and a truth I never known is in enough. From faults, favors, failures, and a truth from faults, favors, failures, and a truth from faults, favors, failures, and a truth I never known is in enough.
Oh, that was way too loud. Okay. Hello, everybody. If anybody is here, is there anybody out there? Oh, is there anybody out there? I hope if anybody's here that they're having a great night or morning or whatever time it is for you. It is nighttime for me. I will offer a brief preface that I have been informed that a storm is supposed to hit relatively soon here. So, if the stream, if the power goes out and the stream dies or something to that effect, or if the audio, if you can just hear the thunder and all the things, I apologize for any issues or delays that may occur in the stream. But I couldn't wait, man. The voices are so loud. I need to talk about them. I need my Shaylas, my sweet baby girls. So I need them. I need them so bad. Please. Okay. Let's see. I'll just make sure that I got everything out to everybody. Okay. Might be a couple minutes. All right. So, I'll go to my lovely, horrible, awful desktop. Look at this. I've got a whole slideshow presentation for you all. Are you proud of me? Wait, Is there any way for me to hide magic cursor? Okay. Magic cursor is hidden. Okay. So this is my original story. I've been working on it for I think about like 4-ish years. I think it I'm pretty sure the idea sprung about a little bit post-COVID. I was very much in a bit of brain rot with like the Dragon Prince and I was big on D&D, all the things. So I wanted to make characters that were not for a fandom, because for a long time that's what I've done, is I've made either Warrior Cats characters or now cookies or all the things. But a lot of my characters have always been associated with a specific fandom. I wanted characters that were not fandom related, and it kind of just all spiraled with the first idea I had was about just having these gods that are elements, but I didn't want to go just the 4 elements. I wanted to go the six type of beat, kind of like how the Dragon Prince does it. I'm not copying, I promise. Just a little bit. But I did that, and I really liked how those came out, and I was like, wait, but like, what would gods do? There needs to be a world behind this. So Children of the Elements was born out of that idea. They've had many designs, some significantly worse than others. I can still remember my first time drawing each one of them and being like, oh my, bro, I fear I ate. And then now I look at it and I'm like, ugh. Ooh. Okay. That's beautiful, Katie. That's beautiful, Katie. But I have this lovely slideshow. So the lore of Children of the Elements, aka Cake yaps for like 2 hours about her OCs and then forces you to pay attention. I will be checking. I will, if anybody's here. I don't know if anybody's here, but if anybody's here, I will find you. If you are not locked in, you gotta lock in, please. I put so much effort into this slideshow. It's so good. It's so tough. Please. Okay. Hello, chat. Hello, chat. Today I will be rapidly forcing you to listen to me yammer about my gay people that are trapped inside of my brain. They live there. They're very dear to me. Please. 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 Okay. Alright. So, the main, world, we're just getting started. The main world of, I made this lovely little Pinterest board for you, so you get the vibe. It's a little bit of high fantasy and then a little bit of, traditional D&D vibes. I wanted to go for a world that was very, D&D vibes, but, slightly, they've had their industrial revolution, there's still, royalty, there are things, but there's still some level of, there's some level of technology here. So maybe they have some more steampunky areas. I'm not entirely certain, but I feel like, I really hope none of this is AI, but I feel like I've seen this before, this concept art. I feel like this was from Arcane, but I can't remember for sure. It feels very Arcane coded. Think Arcane Piltover. That's the vibe for some of the really big cities. Then the smaller cities are your more traditional D&D cottage type beats. So Elianis is very hard to pronounce. But it's also, so it's either a country or a continent. I haven't decided. It's probably a country, but I don't know what else to call the world yet. I haven't gotten that far. So it's just, all I have is, this is all I have, man. It's all Elianis for now. I know that I want the capital to be called Seoul. Ha, I'm so funny. But yeah, technology is relatively primitive, maybe a little bit past the Renaissance, like into the late 1700s to early 1800s. So like think founding fathers core as far as like the amount of technology we've got. However, socially, I want it to be pretty progressive. Like I'm disregarding the time period for the sake of yaoi. Just for me. No, but like I don't want there to be, at least not in the sense that we think of, I don't want there to be like racism. Like please do not. Or people hating the gays. Please do not. Think of it like fantasy levels of just like, yeah, it's fine. Heck yeah. Magic is not unheard of. Like there is not no magic in Ilianis. Bro, my dog is gonna make me freaking tweak out. Brief intermission. I will be right back. Hello, Dusty Rats. Give me one moment. Please. Okay, we're good. Okay. So magic is not unheard of in this world, but it is pretty rare. It's more in like the paladin sense of like, if you have some sort of magic, it's considered some sort of divine blessing or chosen one type beat from the gods, which this is relevant. This is incredibly relevant. The government is a shit ass monarchy. Oh, whoopsies. It's like it's the Soleil royal family is I think what I'm calling them right now. Cough cough nudge nudge. But they are like the royal family of the area. And it is very much like they don't do their jobs very well. Like they think everything's like roses and butterflies and awesome, and they're like, people are dying. Guys, we need to lock in. So, here are the gods that I have for this world. These are slightly old drawings. I might re-render them just because they're so like not textured. Excuse me. But there's like, we have a sun and a moon god, obviously. I wrote somewhere at some point that they are like two halves of like, they're very much two halves of the same coin type thing. That's why I did the drawings the way I did. I wanted to do the moon with like this type of thing, but I also wanted it to be a crescent, so I chickened out and I just drew it as crescent. But they don't really have names or genders. They're just like, they're sometimes like the closest thing that they have to a name is essentially the like the last part of it, which is like the Watcher of Time, the Storm Chaser, the Heavy Rain, the Lifebringer, the Cosmic Illusionist, and the Flame Starter. So it's like you don't worship the sun god, blah, 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 blah. It's not like you don't worship Aphrodite. You're worshiping the Lifebringer, the Time Watcher, the whatever. So it's they're referred to in what they do. They are not omnipotent. The idea with them is that they are kind of like Greek gods in the way that they are fallible. They can make mistakes, but they are incredibly powerful, which is interesting. So, like, yeah. And they are immortal, so they can't die. So yeah. Who said that? So, the gods on the last slides, they're much more present than what we would consider our current real world concepts of religion. So it's like, they're a lot more active. They can mess with stuff. There's a lot more that they can do physically than like what we'd consider with like the Christian God. It'd be more in the lines of like the ancient Greeks. So these gods control the balances of all aspects of nature and matter. There was originally 7. Ooh, spooky. So I'll go back to this slide. I won't stay on it for too long because it's kind of freaky. But the idea is that there's the 6 gods of like matter and all the things, but the 7th was the god of the void. So there's this old theory that I found out about. Like, I was literally in a science class and they taught me about that. I was like, wait, peak villain idea, please. So the main villain of this story is that void god, who is both the personification of where things are before they exist and then where they are after they exist. So like it's like a god of death, it's a god of like not like literally the concept of nothing is this god, because if there's matter, there's also a void. Back in the day, people used to think that there were 2 elements, matter and the void, and that's kind of where I got the idea from. Because it went from like the traditional like, oh, okay, here's the elements, to then matter and the void, and then we actually got our actual elements that we use today. I'm kind of smart. No, I'm not. But there's an old prophecy that states that 6 will come of the gods' choice to defeat a great evil. So there's this like chosen one type beat that is happening, and that's kind of where our story starts. So this, my baby girls, this is our main cast. Their names are Cyrus, Makani, Rylan, Dahlia, Linnea, and Jay. They are as follows. So it's the fire one, the air one, the sun one, the moon one, the water one, and the earth one. So they all have their own individual personalities and quirks and things, which I will get into. But essentially they were each chosen by their respective god to bear special powers, and they don't know why they have the powers. They have not, like, the gods, they cannot speak. They can do things, but they cannot speak. So they gave these powers and are trying to lead these dumb kids to, like, defeat the bad guy, but they can't talk, so they're just like, vaguely pointing in the correct direction. Which gets interesting, because not everybody follows what their god tells them that they're supposed to do. So I'll get into them. They're not, okay, I haven't decided exactly what order they would quote unquote join the party. I'm thinking that it would be Dahlia first. I have the most written for her, like written down as far as backstory goes, and I think where she lives is it's a really fun, like, it's very cute, very whimsical, very cottagecore. So I would have a lot of fun having her as like the first character, but then I'm kind of between her and Cyrus as far as like who my favorite is, or who I want to be the main point of view character. So let's get into everybody. This is my sweet cheese, my good time boy, Cyrus. I love him so much. He's my baby, my sweet man. So he is our fire character. He was chosen by the fire god, who was, when I first created the story and the gods did have names, that one I think was called like Magnus or something, but I'm like, whatever. Hello, welcome. But he has a broadsword that's kind of just, I wanted to give them all like normal melee weapons, along with their actual power. But his actual power that he has is obviously to manipulate fire. So how I kind of want that to work is I do not think he can just create fire out of nothing. He has to have some flavor of like spark or something. He has to have fuel on him, which in his updated design I'm giving him more pockets cuz I think he would like stuff like paper in his pockets. Just something to get the fire started, and then he can manipulate it as he pleases. He is a he/him and a ho/ho/homo. Uh, he's 18 years old. As far as character traits, he's very observant, so he's kind of a quiet one for a lot of the story. There's some trauma there. He's very disciplined and very passionate, but he struggles to communicate, and he is very stubborn. So one thing, Cyrus's backstory, I'll kind of get into that here. So his whole thing is, so the capital of Alianus, the place where the story takes place, is called Seoul, and in Seoul there's very much a wealthy neighborhood, and there is very much a not wealthy neighborhood. It's very much like a lot of big cities in real life where there's a really nice bit and then there's like a really not nice bit. He grew up in the really not nice bit. And he did not grow up with much. It was just him and his mom for a long time. And he received his powers, I think I wrote down when he was like 4 years old. Like he was really little. So he was just like chilling in their apartment. He took a nap and he woke up and the apartment was on fire. He was like, "Oh, I wonder how that happened." So he wakes up to like all this chaos and people trying to get him out of the building, and he's like, "Oh, that's weird. I wonder what happened." And he eventually realizes that whatever happened was like there was a large fire, and while the local fire people, do they have fire people? I don't know. I don't know if they have like firemen or just like guards, like foot soldiers. Like somebody came in and got this kid out of the fire. Somebody came in, got him out, and had to break the news to him that like, yeah, we got you out, but your mom is cooked, literally. So this kid's like, huh? So he gets put in a orphanage. He doesn't realize he has powers. But then slowly while he's in the orphanage, he realizes it, and other people seem to realize it and are very, very put off by it. And he also has to deal with the fact that his mother is dead, and now he realizes that he was the one who did it by accident. Wahoo! So he stays in this orphanage for a little while until he's about like 6, wherein the crown comes in. So these two very, very wealthy people, who he finds out later are the king and the queen, they come in and they tell the person running the orphanage, "Hey, where's that kid who set his house on fire? We want it." So they tell them where he is, and they adopt him. They adopted him because they wanted a playmate and like future bodyguard for their son, who is the crown prince. So he meets Rylan, who is one of our other main characters in this story. Those two, they grow up together, they become really close. And then other things happen, but I will get to that when I get to Rylan's one, just because there's a lot more to talk about with like his side there. Okay, Makani, my sweet boy, my bird, the bird boy, the boy who is a bird. So Makani, he is probably the character who I have the least written lore-wise. he's been very hard for me to pinpoint down because I've struggled between like how to differentiate him and Linnea, because they're both very much free spirits. Like it's go with the flow or like head up in the clouds. It's like is that literally the same thing? But I know I want him to be like kind of like a monk type, but like I like not a monk, but just like I think he lives in a more arid town. I played around with the idea that like maybe his family does cartography, which is maps. So he's always loved maps and he wants to see the world. A he, they. You can use either one. I just use he, him just as a placeholder, but like they, them is perfectly fine and great for Makani. 21, the oldest of the group, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he grew up in a cartographer family. He received his powers when he was like decently old, and his powers, bird boy grow wing, so he can essentially conjure these like big magic wings, which I have not drawn yet. He can get these big magic wings, and he can use them to manipulate air currents, which I think is kind of fun and cool and awesome. He's very diplomatic. He's very social, and he's very optimistic. He is a sweetheart. I love Makani. He's very much somebody who he would make a great bartender. Like, you know, the people who are very, very quick to get to know others and just a social butterfly. That is Makani. He's literally the guy that like after 20 minutes he knows everything about you. You know nothing about him, but he's gotten you to tell like your entire life story, and you just feel very safe. He's that guy. He's awesome. I haven't figured out how to traumatize him yet. I will find a way. Yeah, that's Makani. I don't have a whole lot to say about him yet. I'm still working on him story-wise. He's very cute though. It took me a long time to figure out how I wanted his hair, and it's changed a little bit from this. I went to a restaurant and I saw this guy with literally the coolest like lock hairstyle I've ever seen. It was so sick. It was like this, but they had like more like spikies in the back, and I think I'm just gonna add some more like spikies in the back. But he's very cute. I love him very much. My boy. That evil twink will pay. That evil twink will pay. That evil twink will pay. I hate him. I love him. I love him. Oh, whoopsies. This is my wife. And personality-wise, I can describe him as essentially one-to-one Shadow Milk Cookie, which was not on purpose. Rylan came first, guys. Rylan came before Shadow Milk Cookie, and he is not Shadow Milk Cookie. Shadow Milk Cookie wishes he were Rylan. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He has existed before, and he will exist after. But yeah, very much, very cocky, very arrogant, very silly. Oh, so silly. Oh, so silly, vanilla. I need to stop. I made a TikTok /reel/short of him and Shadow Milk Cookie because I thought it was really funny how similar they ended up being. But he is the sun character, which me when I was like 14 years old and originally creating this story, like, oh, I thought I was so clever. I was like, oh yeah, so I'll make the sun character the villain. That'll be so scary and so cool. So he does not have an actual physical weapon. He's all about emotional weaponry. So Rylan, his whole power is not very physical. He can't like chuck stuff at people or like give them sunburns. His power is essentially he can just make you like tweak out. So essentially he can control how light goes into people's eyes. So if you do any research on like optometry, which I haven't done a lot, but I I did a little bit. It's the way that the light rays come into contact with like your cones and rods in your eyes. That is what determines what you see or what you don't see. So I think that he would be able to manipulate how the light goes through those cones and rods and like does all the things. So he's an illusionist. He can make you see things, but he can really, because it's to do with the eyes and it's not physical hallucinations, he can't make things like a hologram. It's you are hallucinating. You are literally hallucinating. And for him to do it to multiple people, it takes a little more energy. He could potentially do it, but it's like he couldn't make a whole crowd of people see things. So he's very good about learning about people and then taking advantage of them because he's an evil twink, and my evil twinks will do what my evil twinks will do. He is bisexual. Yes, I love him. And him and Cyrus are married. Not really, but toxic yaoi, you know? It's part of the deal. So, he's 19. He's very brave. He's very energetic, and he's very persuasive. I think I might need to take off genuine. He is not genuine. I don't know why I put that. But he is also dramatic, impulsive, and very easily taken in by words, and that evil twink will pay. So, with the story and his connection with Cyrus, what I have for an idea with them is that, so they were like raised not as brothers, but as like, it's very like Catradora core, where they grew up together, but not as like siblings, you know? There was very clearly a differentiation between the two. It just was they were kind of raising up Cyrus to be this bodyguard. It was like the prince and his knight. It was very cute. But as they grew, Rylan began to be more into like the politics side of things, and Cyrus began to hear more about like strange reports of people disappearing. And because of the state of the monarchy that they live in and the fact that Rylan's parents are kind of horrible at their jobs, Rylan began to be very much like taken in by all of this, all of the politics. That is my dog. Barkley, what? Do you have something to say? Do you have something to say? Oh. He just wanted his toy. He's just sitting there playing with his toy. But, Rylan began to get more into the politics, and as we know, all politicians are bastards. So, they began to drift apart, but there was this, like, air of, like, weird codependency. So, when Cyrus heard about the rest of the party kind of, like, starting to get together and starting to, like, fight back all the baddies, he wanted to go, and he wanted to take Rylan with him, and Rylan refused. It's very, like, it's defying gravity, but if Glinda could not let go, like, thrashing and screaming, going, "No! You're not allowed! Please, baby girl, don't leave, please!" So, they have a falling out, and Cyrus does actually leave, and then Rylan has a little bit of a mentee bee. His parents either, like, die or retire, I haven't decided. And then he becomes evil dictator. Woohoo! Woohoo! He's a terrible leader because he's mostly, leading just to cause as many problems as he can for our, like, main people. And he eventually just kind of hits his little bit of a rock bottom. So the Void God that I was talking about way in the beginning, because they are nothing, they can be anything. So they can be like kind of a shapeshifter. So they be like a little worm in his ear and tell him like, hey, hey, do evil things. Do evil bad thing. Evil bad thing is so fun. And nobody loves you. And you're gonna die someday, so might as well. So, he is depressed. My twink is depressed. But eventually he hits that breaking point and finally realizes that he's being manipulated, crashes out, and begins his little redemption arc. And then he joins up with the rest of the cast. So his story is, I think, my favorite as far as like story goes and everything, because I love me a redemption arc. Literally, oh, bro. Literally, redemption arcs are so peak. I will fight tooth and claw and nail for any evil character to have a redemption arc if they have like even an ounce of good in them. Like, I'll be like, please make them good, make them good, make them good, and make them say sorry, and then make them gay, and then give them a lover and have the lover like tell them that it's like, hey, it's okay, you don't have to be mad at yourself anymore, it's okay, baby girl. And then I do that and my life is yours. My life is yours. I've been talking so much that like my mouth is dry. Is this am I normal? Oh my god. It's fine. Okay, anyway. So this is Dahlia. My wife. I love my wife. Her design is also changing just a little bit. I was just making a new height chart for these guys, and I just switched up just clothing wise a little bit. And then I made her hair a little shorter because, I'm gonna be so for real. I live in a very white area, and I don't know a whole lot about, textured hair, and I did a lot more research, and it's kind of interesting how, like, textured hair tends not to get, like, as long, or, like, it's so curly that it just looks short. But I'm chopping it to about, like, here, you know, about there. And also, I feel like this baddie would absolutely, like, style her hair in all the fun ways. Good for her. She's our Earth character. Her powers are pretty standard. It's the whole, like, oh, she can make things grow faster. With, like, I wanted to specifically work, she can speed up the growth of things. I'm very much trying to put guardrails so that these guys are not overpowered as hell. So her whole thing is, once again, there has to be a plant already there. She can't just make plants that do not previously exist. Maybe she has seeds and she like makes the seeds sprout as she throws them. She speeds up the growth of the plant, which also could provide a problem if she uses a plant that doesn't live very long, because after she's used it for a couple minutes, then I might just like die. But she is Lebanon, she's Lebanese. That is a joke. She's a lesbian. She's useless lesbian. I say that. I need to not throw stones in glass houses. She's honest, she's very curious, she's very strong-willed, but she holds a lot of grudges, and she's sometimes very overly serious. She, like, when I say she is locked in, like, this girl, she has, like, a checklist for everything. She is so organized. I wish I could be her. Bro. So peak. But I love her very much. So she grew up in a very small town, and it was kind of on the outskirts of like a woodsy area. I know that her family were some kind of like farmers or like merchants in the area, just like the locals. This is what I mean when I say like the very woodsy, very cottagecore type living environment. Like literally my dream. And because she's the green one, I had to do it, man. I had to do it to him. I was like, please, cottagecore. But in the woods, there have been like rumors of this like weird, strange group of women, and some of the townspeople are not very chill with that. They're like, they must be like witches or something. They must be freaks. Like, what are they doing in there? Are they like Shadow Wizard Money Gang casting spells? Like, that doesn't seem very cool, guys. But Dahlia, she is going into the woods one day to fetch a pail of water. No, she's getting water from the river, from the little stream, and she sees this weird little girl. This weird little girl. I have not drawn her like digitally, so I don't really have any like good art to show of her, so I'm very sorry. I will draw her, I promise. Trust. Please trust. And my favorite thing about this like big group of people that live in the middle of the woods is like they're called the Druids, and they all have funny weird names. So this random little girl is just named Coyote. And I'm like, you know what? Heck yeah. Barkley, are you done? I think he's having a good time. But Coyote and her become friends, and Coyote eventually shows her that this like group of women that like live in the woods away from all the townspeople, and like everybody thinks they're like weird and doing sketchy things. They're actually just really connected with nature. And they are really like, they're very good worshippers of the bringer of life. And Dahlia is very taken by it, and she becomes a druid, and she protects them, and she fights off like the townspeople who are like coming with like pitchforks and thing. Like, we're talking like kill the beast levels of people are not happy. At this point, her and Coyote are grown up. I don't know if they're lovers or not. I don't know. I cannot escape childhood friends to lovers. It's either childhood friends to lovers, or it's enemies to lovers. There is no in between. No, actually there is. No, literally Rylan and Cyrus are the in between. But it's one of those two every time. Every time it's one of those two. But I don't know if they're gonna be lovers or if they're just like besties for the resties. But so the townspeople attack, and Dahlia is like trying really hard. She's like fighting for her life, and she's fighting for all these people. And then Coyote sacrifices herself and is dead, and it's very sad. And at that very moment is when Dahlia receives her powers. And then is notified of the prophecy that she's supposed to defeat a great evil. So yeah. She's very fun. I love her design. She's so pretty. I love my wife, guys. Linnea! My baby. She's our water girly. She has a whip. She has like a whip that's like made of water, is I think what I decided. It's either a whip that's made of water, or like Loki would be funny if she just had like a freaking like pool noodle or something. She's like, yeah. Wait, you know the thing where like people will take a pool noodle and they'll like blow into one end of it, and then the other end will like chuck a bunch of water out? I need to know that I'm not going crazy. This is a thing. I promise this is a thing. But like where you like and then on the other end of the pool noodle, like, yeah. You get the idea. But she has like a water whip, unless I decide to give her horrible Renaissance pool noodle. Her, unlabeled. I don't know. With how free of a spirit she is, I just didn't feel like she'd be the type of person who'd want to have a specific identity, I guess. Like, she's the kind of person where she'd just be like, I don't know, man. I just like who I like. And I'm like, you know what? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. She's 18. She's very energetic, enthusiastic. She's very musical. But she is very naive. She's clingy, and she, like, her moods can shift kind of on a dime. Like, she'll go from being like, la 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 to Ricky. Ricky, when I catch you. Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky. But anyway, she lives in a little port town, and she works at this little, like, bar. It's a very, this little town, I decided that it's, like, it's a beachy kind of town, and there's a lot of, like, tourist people that, like, people go there to vacation. It's that type of, like, it's like your Florida, you're not quite Hawaii, but, like, the vibe of people come there to have a good time, and it's everything. So she's a waitress, like a bartender type beat, and she is also a singer, and she plays like a lute or something. I don't know what I want to call it, but she is very torn because she feels like she has to, like, keep things going and work all the jobs, when really in her heart she just wants to do her music thing, and she wants to be the one on the stage, not the one serving drinks by the stage. And it's like she's wrestling with her logic side and, like, her free spirit side. But it's her boss who, in my mind, because I don't have a solid design for him, it's just Vander Arcane. Like, think of that man, just this big tall guy in his 40s. Very sweet. He just tells her, like, hey, I hope you know that, like, you are welcome to gig it up anytime around here, and I think that you should go for it because you're very talented. And she's like, that's my dad! Yeah. Father figure unlocked. And she eventually decides that she's gonna pursue music, and that's when she receives her powers. She is my Shayla. She is my baby girl. I was so proud of her outfit. I love her. I love her little, like, flowy skirt. I love her little tiny freckles that she has everywhere, and her little painted nails, and her bracelets everywhere. She is a puka shell girly. She has, like, puka shells and, like, those little, like, they're the bracelets that people make where they're just, like, braided fabric. She has a bunch of those. In another life, she is a hippie. But I also have, like, a little jug of water here. Like, maybe she keeps it on her because her powers are basic. She can water bend. It's literally just water bending. So she needs water to do it, obviously. So I forgot. Okay, I was really rushing on the slideshow, but that is not their name. This is Jay. This is Jay. Not literature. Although they are kind of literature. So they are our moon character. They are no binary. So any pronouns, I usually just use they them for them. for dems. But they are very dear to me. They are another character who I don't have a whole lot of their backstory figured out, but I have an idea. I have ideas, and I'm kind of just shooting them around everywhere all the time. I think they are some sort of vigilante type, and they care very deeply about how people are impacted by the systems at play. They're a little bit of an anarchist. I'm gonna be so for real. Like, not like crazy anarchists, but they're just kind of down with the monarchy type beat. Like, yeah. So they have their like little mask. I thought it was cute. That they wear when they're doing all their like they're like gay Batman. Guys, it's gay Batman. um but their powers are they're the moon, so I either wanted to do something with like time travel or something with memories. So I'm flipping between them being able to like touch objects and see the past through them, or them being able to like touch another person and then see their memories, or some flavor of both. Like the thing I'm running into is I just don't want them to be super overpowered. They are also unlabeled, mostly just because I haven't figured out what I want their orientation to be. They're 18. They're down to earth. They're logical. They're intelligent. But they're also very pessimistic and impatient. Part of the reason why they are so emo and they hate the monarchy so bad is because, shortly before Rylan got elected, not elected, but coronated as king, they had a weird arranged like marriage type thing. It was essentially just like Rylan's parents were like, "Hey, you should get game. Here's this one." Cuz I guess their families are friends or something. And Jay comes from a wealthy family. They're not like royalty by any means, but they come from a more well-off family. And they're very much the breaker of the mold, which is part of the reason why they mask a lot, is because they kind of don't want to be associated with their family or like put them in danger. But they are very dear to me. Okay. I kind of covered this. I definitely have favorites, and it is them. It is these two. I am a little obsessed with them. They bring me so much joy and whimsy and joy and whimsy, and I just they just, you know, I draw a lot of them like post Rylan redemption arc. Mostly just because I don't want them to be sad, but I also want to draw more angst of them. More of the fallout. They're very Cachorro coded in the idea that it's like, you left me. It's that weird codependent friendship. By the time Cyrus left, before their falling out, they were like not quite lovers. Like there was something that was happening that was definitely not platonic. Like they didn't like kiss yet. However, it's like the hugging each other for a very long time, telling each other your hopes and dreams, like, I know what you are. And then afterwards, then they finally like, oh yeah, that's kind of gay, isn't it? Yeah. I will continue yapping. You will hear me yapping all of the time. I will be posting more art of these guys all of the time. I wanted to provide some flavor of context. Maybe I'll cut this down into like a normal sized video, unless I decide later that I hate the sound of my voice in this because I'm tired. But there, now you have learned about my baby girls. Have a good day, everyone. Yeah, I will see you guys next time I stream, or if I upload somehow by some crazy miracle. But I hope everybody has a lovely, lovely night or day.